But that's passenger ground loop isolator.
I don't know what that is. That the name of it?
Yeah. So it should pop up over there now. Broadcasting live from a hollow tree stump in the middle of no man's land. You've reached Married with Comedy with your host, James R. Freeman.
Yo.
And Onyx.
Onyx.
Bam, 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 bam.
See, even like some, I don't know, like some retro
80s hip hop.
Rave or even, you know? I don't know about
Some Beastie Boys when they were punk.
No, definitely not.
Beastie Boys were punk back in the day.
I was thinking like some stuff that Weird Al would do.
Weird Al
If
Yankovic?
Weird Al Yankovic spoofed Married with Comedy.
Boom. Hey, what's up?
Bum, bum, bum.
You know what I'm gonna do? That's the hair. Oh, now it sees the camera. There. Now it sees the microphone. There. Listen up.
Anyway,
That just
whatever.
means you have to move away from the camera. Welcome to Married with Comedy. I'm Jeff Onyx, and today we're gonna be doing an awesome show. Okay, so we got This Week in Comedy History, and during that you're gonna find out some interesting information about somebody offing themselves in a really weird way. You know what I'm saying, G?
What?
Yeah. Offage.
Offage. Like
Yeah.
like sumo-acided?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not sumo-aside.
Sumo-aside? No.
I tried to adjust the camera.
Man. Ain't that some bull?
Tried to adjust the camera for you. You go all the way back under there to get that? Good. On the breakdown,
I kind of need it.
he's going to be talking about Beverly Hills something or other.
Excuse me.
Beverly Hills something or other. Oh, Outpost Survival Tip of the Week. Ranger bands.
Bands.
420, we're going to be talking about, a competition about, what you prefer, one or the other. And then Conjecture of Fact, we're going to be talking about Precursor. That's all I can tell you, Precursor. And then we're going to reset the second hour, and I'm actually going to reset the second hour properly this time. So what's your opening? What you wanted to talk about? Something specific?
Oh, yes. I recently realized
See, you got to move away from
something. Yeah, I'm up too close. My bad. You know how they say you repress?
You moved that.
Here, it's okay. You know how they say you repress memories?
Yeah.
I think I realized, and I took some psychology classes, one in college and then one out.
I oppress memories, not repress memories.
Right, but I
I'm
think
very
I must have been molested by a fat girl when I was younger or something. When I was a kid.
You want to know something really cool?
Because I love big girls, dude. It's terrible.
You can turn the headphones up as loud as you want now.
It's like an addiction. Where's the headphones? 3 and 4?
We know where it says headphones.
Where it says phones. It doesn't say headphones.
Yeah. So you can turn that up as loud.
Headphones.
Look at that. You can turn that up as loud as you want.
Wow, I like that. I can hear myself a little bit better.
You know what's really funny is?
Nah.
It doesn't affect the audio that they hear.
Well, that is so wonderful, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You're such a good producer.
The only bad thing is now
I
this is...
told you that.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Hi.
Hi, how we doing today?
So what are you talking about?
So like I said, I think I was molested by a fat girl when I was younger or something.
Because you're afraid of them or you like them?
Well, the first time I remember having sex, it was with a big girl.
Yeah.
I think I told you she was a Virgo.
Yeah.
She's really something else.
But
man.
she knew what she was doing. Even though she said she was a
But
Virgo.
see, so she was even too freaky for me. And, I know freaky. But she grabbed me and told me to give her 12 inches and make it hurt. So I had sex with her twice and broke up with her. I figure
Wait,
you gotta give a woman what she asked for.
Oddly enough, I had a girl once tell me to give her 12 inches and make it hurt, and I threw a Subway footlong at her.
For those who don't know,
Right in the face.
It's a joke that I do.
Yeah, but I upgraded
I'm
it.
warming up for the comedy show
I threw
tomorrow.
a footlong Subway sandwich at her face.
On your forehead.
Nah. Subway sandwich.
Anyways,
Today's show's gonna be great, dude. Midwest All Truck Nationals coming up.
You think so?
9/11. on September 11th. Yeah, today's show is gonna be Babu.
But yeah, so to finish my thought, I'm addicted to fat chicks, man.
Oh, I've got a thought.
And I will tell you why that is and why I bring that up a little bit later in the comedy horror section.
Well,
I figure it's appropriate.
You can keep talking because I had an idea.
Oh, I can?
Yeah,
Awesome.
keep talking. I got an idea.
All right.
You're gonna like this idea, I think.
I love big girls. Anybody with me? Make some comments. Do something. Hey, man, that video never came up, by the way.
It's on there.
No, it ain't. I don't see it. So anyways, anybody like big girls like I like big girls? Like I call them big sexy. You know what I'm talking about, right? She's big, but she still
There's a mouse right
exercises
there.
3 to 5 times a week.
That's the mouse.
What's the mouse for? Okay, for that. That's cool.
Hey,
Right? She's got her own job, her own car, her own place. She don't got no roommates, and she got leftovers in the fridge for when I stay over. I used to call that big sexy. I love big girls, man.
hit the bell. Click the bell.
And no matter how much experience they have, they always
Let me
seem
do
to
it.
be grateful.
Let me do it.
Wait, what are you doing?
Click the bell notification.
Right there,
Yeah.
and then right
Yeah.
or there.
That one.
That one. Comedy Vets is live now.
Here's a new thing. Okay. So, since I'm having a
Sorry,
hard time knowing when
apologize.
he's done talking, here's what we got.
We tried to do. Oh God, no! Really? That's hilarious. That'll be fun. That'll be
Can you
fun.
hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it, but it's probably not too loud.
But I
I
wanted
was
to.
thinking maybe we could put it even back a little bit further, because I'm hitting it right.
Yeah, you're
When
hitting
I'm done, I'll hit the bell.
Well, when I'm done, maybe I'll hit it.
Oh
You don't know.
boy, who's she?
You need to know when I'm done.
Who is that? Oh wait, that's not our video. I'm like, who is that? When was she on our show? Jeff?
Did you click the link?
I did, but it didn't work, bro. Right there.
It's the top one.
Yes. Okay, and then click on comments.
Comments. Boom.
I just saw the pages you follow. I don't know why. I'm
Hey,
not done
why
yet.
is it not-
Wait.
why-
I didn't. I thought you said it's for me to
I
ding.
know, but why is it not? It doesn't sound. It doesn't sound loud enough. Does that sound loud to you? If you're listening, can you comment and let me know if that sounds loud enough? That's our bell. That's our bell. Oh, you can't see. I'm gonna do the top down so they can see. This is our bell.
Hey, how do I get on the?
Look, this is our
I
bell.
don't like this.
Look at
Jeff.
his face.
What is going on here?
Look at his face. That's our bell. You know what his name is? Palsy.
How do I?
Let's look at his face. He's got.
Oh, Palsy, that's
I
messed up.
can't close my eyes.
Hey man,
Don't
how do I get to the thingamabobble doohickey?
What?
With the comments, how come I only see
Scroll
the
down
one?
a little.
I don't know where. Down
Use
here?
the mouse to scroll down a little.
There's a mouse there, and I like to use the mouse.
Just
when I'm a
scroll.
kid. What does that mean? Like that?
Yeah. Now scroll back up where the comments are. Boom.
Boom. I don't know. I think you're mistaken, sir.
What
I
did
don't
that
see
say?
Any comments?
See the comment?
That's you, dork.
No, that's not me.
Yes.
Was it me?
Yeah, I typed it.
Oh.
Yo, Adrian, we did it.
All right. So
Like that bitch was in the ring with him or something.
we're jumping in the show.
That's
Ready?
bullshit.
We're jumping
Sorry.
into it.
I
Ready?
know I shouldn't cuss so
Ready to
much,
jump
but I
into
don't
it?
think we're gonna get our church sponsors.
Yeah, probably not.
Sorry.
Church sponsored.
And
No.
since we ain't getting our church sponsors, we can say whatever the fuck we want.
I was trying to contact My Pillow.
My Pillow.
Get a My Pillow sponsor.
Yes. Totally, bro.
See, look.
He would sponsor us, man.
See this
he
right
don't
here?
give a fuck about.
See this? If
Fuck.
you- see that right there?
Sorry, I'm trying to.
He's
revel in the
technically
fact that I
he's
cuss
technically
whatever the fuck I
a
want.
Christian churchy guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, if
Even though he did all that
this,
crack
we
and
could
coke.
probably go straight.
All right. This
Sorry.
week in comedy
Wow, that
history.
was really loud, wasn't it? I
Well,
apologize.
it only sounds loud because of that,
Ah,
but it's not really loud to them. It's only loud to us.
well, how do we know how loud it is? Do
See
we
the-
get comments from someone?
See?
Not very loud. Okay.
See the yellow? See the yellow? Boom. Okay. March. Hey,
No, that's too much. We need to use that just on segments. All right.
I know it's for you to tell me when you're done talking.
No, I know, but let's use it between segments. Let's don't ding it every time.
I
And
know.
don't ding it for me. Don't fucking ding it for me. It'll drive me nuts. You bought this thing for you. Here, I got you now. Stupid little bell.
I wanted to get one of those ones that when you hit it, it goes beep, like the
You're gonna be looking for the bell next week. You're gonna be like, where is it?
the thug life horn.
Yeah. You're gonna be looking for it next week, and after the show, you go out in the parking lot after I drive over it.
This week in comedy history, March
Bell.
22nd through March 28th, March 22nd, 1971, Keegan Michael Key was born.
Oh yes, the guy who wrote the movie with the guy that sinks.
Best known for co-star and co-creator of Key and Peele on Comedy Central, and his 6 seasons on Mad TV. He was on Mad TV 6 seasons.
That's not all he's known for nowadays, man.
Well, he's best known for
the comedy stuff.
Yeah.
Now he's known for his movies, bro.
You might not know that he was adopted.
I did not know that.
His biological father was black. His biological mother was white. And when he got adopted, his adoptive father was black and his adoptive mother was white. So they kept that consistent. And the reason that's mentioned is because he said in an interview that because he was biracial, it allowed him to create more comedic content. And most of his comedic content at the beginning was mostly...
it allowed him to say the N-word, which all white people laugh at because they cannot say. That's what he's trying to tell you.
March 23rd.
You're welcome, Chris Rock.
March 23rd, 1922. Marty Allen was born, and he died February 12th, 2018. Known as known at one time as the darling of daytime TV. You remember him?
I'm trying to think. That sounds familiar, but I have no
idea. Like in the 50s and 60s, he was on all the.
I remember that.
All the talk shows.
Back when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Back when I remember that when I was like 4. I wasn't even born yet.
Neither was I.
I wasn't even a twinkle in my head sack. Okay. You might not know. Well, if you didn't know anything about him, you might not know that Marty Allen joined the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II and earned the rank of sergeant.
Did he travel with the USO or something?
No, he actually went.
Like we'll see.
Yeah. March 24th, 1953, Louis Anderson was born, and you might not know he's still alive.
Louis Anderson's still alive, yes. I saw him a few years back. He did like a special or something.
You might not know that Louis Anderson's father's name had 4 names, because normally you have a first name, a middle name, and a surname.
Yeah, like my kids have 4 names, yes.
Well, his dad's name was Andy.
I figured, if overpopulation keeps going like it is, everybody's going to need 4 names, you know what I mean?
His dad's full name was Andy Andrew Mortimer Anderson. So his name was Andy Andrew Anderson, and they threw in
Andy Andrew Anderson. Mortimer Anderson.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Who would do that to a child?
Well, they threw the Mortimer in there so it wouldn't be weird.
No. Right. The dictionary for babies' names is like this big.
Yeah, but back then they didn't have the dictionary for babies' names. All they had was the Bible.
Yes, but I'm just saying okay. Not a single one of those names is in the Bible, Jeff. Thanks, though. Alrighty then.
That's funny. Okay.
That is funny.
March 20,
who you are. That's funny.
March 25th, 1967, Doug Stanhope was born.
Doug, what's up?
Known for his stand-up comedy and his podcasts. You might not know that
you're going to say and his pot.
you might not know that in 2008, his mother convinced him to help her with her assisted suicide.
Nuh-uh. Yeah. She convinced him. That's the story he told.
You know what?
She wasn't around to tell another one.
That's around the time I met him.
Nuh-uh.
Because he was
I shouldn't be mean like that.
Remember Doug Cheatham?
He's a funny guy.
Doug Cheatham used to go around trying to off this guy's tickets all the time. And this guy was.
I thought you were going to say his mom.
He was at Stanford. He was at Stanford and Sons. Oh yeah, he was trying to assist suicide them tickets. What he's trying to do.
Yeah, to assist the suicide because
nobody can see that. I can. That's gross.
Because he couldn't. Because he couldn't do it himself. Crisscross. Crisscross. We're just two guys on a train. Crisscross.
March 26, 1949.
Doug, I hope you appreciate that, man. I know I only met you a couple times. But...
March 26, 1949, Vicky Lawrence was born.
Oh, my girl, really?
Best known for her role as Thelma Harper on the Carol Burnett show, and later revising the role on the TV sitcom Mama's Family.
Mama's Family.
You might not know that one of the first things
thing for Vicky.
One of the first things that happened in her life when she was younger. Okay, she was like in theater and stuff like that in high school, but the local firemen's guild or firefighters group, they were having a contest, a talent contest called the Miss Fireball contest.
Nuh-uh, where they do shots of cinnamon schnapps.
No, they didn't have that.
Oh.
So there was a local reporter.
What is that, cinnamon whiskey?
There was a local
Canadian
reporter that
whiskey
did a report on the Fireball.
It used to be schnapps.
The Miss Fireball Festival.
Okay, sorry.
And
Now I'm cutting.
in the article, he mentioned that Vicky Lawrence looked like she could be Carol Burnett's little sister.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember the story.
So Vicky Lawrence's mother wrote a letter to Carol Burnett and asked Carol Burnett to come to the contest, to watch the contest, to see this person that looked like she could be her little sister. Unbeknownst to Vicky Lawrence's mom, Carol Burnett was looking for somebody to play her sister.
Nuh-uh, what?
Went to see the contest, the Fireball contest, Miss Fireball contest. Saw Vicky Lawrence and then hired her to be her little sister, and then later on to be her
Hired her to be her little sister. What a job.
on the Carol Burnett show. Yeah. And then later on as her mom.
Yes, I know.
Mama's
That's
Family.
so funny, huh? Her little sister and her mom.
That's crazy. Okay,
Love some Vicky Lawrence. She's the Aries, huh?
yeah, July 12th, 1908, Milton Berle was born.
Yow!
He
Cancer. Crossdresser.
He died March 27th, 2002.
Aw.
Known for his long comic career that spanned over a comedic career that spanned over 80 years.
Whatever, you know.
He was
Can't read his own handwriting.
his comedic career for over 80 years.
Okay, yeah.
He was in the business for 80 years.
If you say so.
You might not know that
He only works for about 30 of it, but yeah, I get you.
Well, you might not know that Milton Berle, he started acting at the age of 5 in 1913
Holy shnikes.
in silent movies. He started acting in silent
very
movies.
Funny, were they? He didn't have any lines.
Well, it's like who was the other person that started in silent movies? The guy Fester, Uncle Fester, started in silent movies.
Yeah, that guy.
Speaking of that, remember last week we were talking about? I said Sean Astin and his family was in the business. His dad
Creepy
was
Sean
Adam's
Astin,
family.
Who was?
His dad was the dad in Adam's family.
Yes. Oh God.
Gomez. He played Gomez. Something Astin. Gomez. Adams.
Oh, why can I not remember?
I can't either, but
John Astin.
I just remembered. I just read about it. Here we go. March 28, 1960. Chris Berry was born. You don't know who
Chuck
this guy
Berry?
is. Chris Berry is from England, but we didn't have anything from the United States on this day.
Okay.
So I had to.
He's a comedian, right?
Yeah,
So,
I had to
there
go
you
overseas. He's known as an impressionist and a comedian, but is best known as Laura Croft's butler in the Tomb Raider movie series.
Really?
You might not know that his real name is Chris Brown, but there was already somebody named Chris Brown.
And he was a woman beater, so you
So-
didn't want to be associated with that guy.
So that was this week in comedy history. You know what's
Was he
funny?
black?
You know what's
There
funny?
probably
about-
wouldn't have been any confusion if
I
it
don't
was
put up the
white.
text for me.
I know. I don't know why you do that, but it doesn't matter.
Okay,
If
I was
it's your
gonna go-
segment. You can do whatever the hell you
I was
want.
gonna go ding. Time for the breakdown. Time for the breakdown.
Breakdown.
Break it
Shakedown.
down.
Everybody walks to the club.
Oh, did you notice this other thing?
Breakdown.
See the logos?
Shakedown. You're busted. What?
Notice the logo?
Yeah. I like that. I like it a lot.
See, we're pointing at that logo over there, No.
KC Comedy Radio. Yeah.
This logo.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know, it's so confusing. It's very trippy.
This logo right here. And then not that logo over there.
All right. You know, you could have done this after your segment before you said to do my segment. Just for the record. Is it my turn?
Yeah, I'm
Oh, okay.
trying not to interrupt you.
I just wanted to make sure. So you're just looking off into the distance.
I just like try not to interrupt you.
So I don't know if you could tell from my song, but we had a free trial to HBO Max. It means I had 30 days to watch everything I could, and they have the Beverly Hills Cop trilogy.
It's a trilogy?
There's 3 Beverly Hills Cop movies, yes. And I don't know that it was meant to be a trilogy, because the first one I thought was a standalone. Great movie. The second movie is still very good, but they use like almost like a cookie cutter template for 2 and 3. And then I didn't get through 3 yet, but I will do that. And I recommend the first one, certainly. Now, I don't know, binge watching the second one. You know, when they first came out, they were like 5 years apart or something like that. So we waited 5 years, so the anticipation and excitement of the movie from 1 to 2 made it more exciting and more enjoyable, maybe, you know, going and seeing it. And so there was some level of that. People are probably not going to experience that again with movies.
Yeah.
Like,
So there was an anticipation.
I remember,
of
like, yeah, Star Wars and whatnot when I was a kid, coming out in the drive-ins, and I mean, it was just like, I remember Cujo too.
Well, now when a movie comes out.
Yeah, or not Star Wars, but Empire Strikes Back. Excuse me, Star Wars was I was still a little young. But anyway, so breakdown. Beverly Hills Cop. If you have not seen it, see it. If you have seen it, watch it again. The first one, like I said, the acting actually holds up, dude. And I can't remember his name. I still can't remember his name, but he played Belky in Perfect Strangers.
Belky Bartocalypse.
Belky Bartolomeus.
Bartolomeus.
Something like that. Fuck. Oh well, whatever. That guy. He plays a weird accent in that one, and he's like,
He did another role.
Their interaction just killed me, dude. My wife and I laughed and laughed. I hadn't seen it in so long, but he's like talking about the art piece.
Okay.
That's like what's her name, Abramovich. You know,
Mila Jovovich?
No, Abramovich, the artist.
I have no idea who
semen and feces and blood together and like paints or something.
No go.
Marina Abramovich or something like that. Whatever the hell her name is. I shouldn't have said it 3 times. Now she's gonna appear. Oh my god. Anyway, so the
what was that?
The art piece. I know. I told you. See what happens. Your PC ran into a problem. See, it needs to restart. What the hell did you do?
He's supposed to be watching that,
in the
and
machine.
then all of a sudden died.
Why do you have to throw in? He's supposed to be watching that. You got to throw that in there. And not only that, but you had to interrupt me.
And it's an Android
for the
device.
third fucking time on my first segment to say that. What was the problem? What's happening now? This is my fault too. Tell you what, man.
It's so fucking
bullshit. You mean top down camera? Top down.
You moved it. You got to move it back. Back up there where it was.
Why?
Because I moved the camera.
Why?
See?
What is wrong with you?
It's supposed to be right there.
This segment
because it's better lighting there.
Almost sponsored by Shaman Smokes because I was smoking them before.
You're doing the breakdown.
My segment. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. Also. As you can see, there's a little bit cloudy on the water there.
You're making me cough.
Okay. So, I will talk about this in a little bit here, but I sprained my ankle. So I'm doubling up on the CBD.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to make it home. This is going to be my last show ever. Because this CBD don't mess around. This is some good shit. And I got the most potent, excuse me, version of it Yeah.
I'm still coughing from yesterday.
Anyway, so Beverly Hills Cop, watch it. Shaman Smokes Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll.
Shaman Smokes.
I'm gonna smoke my last one on the way home. I have to turn around and wait till like freaking 11 o'clock in the morning to get more. It's ridiculous.
There it is. I'm having a hard time breathing though because our dogs. I was out of it yesterday and I left the gate open, and the dogs got out. And
and you chased them until you passed out.
The boys stayed near the house. The girl dog,
What's happening?
it's restarting itself. The little fat one,
Yeah.
she took off running. I run after her,
She
and I'm
doesn't run. She waddles. Let's be honest.
she stops to take a crap.
You couldn't catch the fat one.
She stops to take a crap.
Oh God!
And I'm
bro.
like, Susie, stay! And I'm running after her.
Oh man!
She
feel
looks.
so
She was
bad
like
for
this.
you.
Looks at me like that.
Wait till you get right next to her and then
she
takes off.
takes off again. Then she stops to take another crap. And this time I'm like, why?
That's why the dog's
I
so
sped up.
freaking round. The dog don't get to poop
I
enough.
sped up and I grabbed her and put the leash on her and stuff.
Squeeze
And
out the last of the poop.
I was running through a neighbor's yard. But we live in the country, so you run across your neighbor's property and you could get shot.
Right.
So good thing he wasn't out shooting.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
okay. Well, that's the
Cool, cool,
breakdown.
cool, cool.
Okay.
Breakdown. Shakedown.
Today's Outpost Survival.
Busted.
Outpost Survival tip of the week.
Breakdown.
You know what's really funny is I'm not putting the Outpost Survival tip of the week.
Just about the time you're thinking it's all right.
Okay, the Outpost Survival tip of the week is Ranger bands. Ranger bands.
Ranger bands.
Ranger bands.
Does that mean they're not allowed to use them?
These are
Or
Ranger
they're
bands.
Ranger sunglasses.
Here, I'll put it up here so they can see top down.
Band.
These
with
are
a
Ranger
D.
bands.
With the D. Bands.
Ranger bands.
Gotcha.
And there are different thicknesses of Ranger band.
Whoa.
Okay, so-
Is it like a finger cuff?
Nope.
Okay.
It's
Oh yeah.
rubber.
Yeah.
and this one you can tell it's kind of brittle.
What's up with these?
Okay, these this one is old. It's really old,
And it's a real Ranger band.
but these are called Ranger bands. The point of these is if you want to hold something together with a rubber band that is really sturdy. A regular rubber band will decay quickly. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah.
The tan rubber bands,
Yeah.
they degrade really fast and they get
Especially
brittle
if they
really
get
quickly.
Wet, and dry.
This is a bicycle inner tube. You take a bicycle inner tube like this, old
Okay.
bicycle inner tube, and this is literally an old one. It's all covered in mud and stuff. But you take the bicycle inner tube and you cut a piece off like that, cut a piece off, and then that is your Ranger band. The Ranger band, you can use it like a regular rubber band. It's not very big, I mean, but you can get bigger ones. But the point of it is that you can use these to, like your bandage. I'm not gonna put it on there because it's dirty, but you could put this around stuff to keep it from unraveling, like a bundle of paracord or rope or string or something like that, or like on my belt. I don't know if you can see this. My belt latch kept opening by itself. So I put the Ranger band on there to keep it closed, to just hold it closed, like a rubber banded it closed. So the Ranger band could be used to hold something like a rubber band would. Basically, it's a rubber band. But you can also connect these together and make them longer. You can connect them together and make them long. So that way you can make like a daisy chain them together to connect two things together like that.
Jam
And
it.
you can make a bungee thing if you put a toggle in there. You wrap it around something and you can toggle it. Then the toggle will hold it between the two things. So you can put a bunch of these together or whatever. The good thing about these is they could be as thick as you want them or as thin as you want them.
If you cut them yourself.
Yeah, you cut them yourself. Well, that's the whole point. And you can keep a Ranger band. You keep a inner tube with you in your bug out bag or in your car or whatever. So if you ever need a big rubber band, you have one that you can use as a rubber band.
Okay.
Cool, huh?
Also,
Ranger
if
bands.
you ever get a flat in your bicycle, you can take this and then you put it around that, and then you can air up, and then it'll. No, probably not.
No, that's not how that works.
That's all right. That was worth a shot.
Why does that keep falling down?
I have no idea, sir. Your little jerry rigging didn't work, sir.
You're not supposed to say Jerry Rigger.
You are supposed to say jerry rigger.
Look at that. Boom. Now it's not going to move.
What?
Now it's
You
not going to
fixed
move.
it?
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
So that was Outpost Survival Tip of the Week Ranger bands. Make you some Ranger bands today. Ranger bands. Next week is gonna be better. Because I got one plan for next week. It's gonna be tight. It's applying update. Why is it applying updates? Whatever. Oh, ding.
So almost 94% complete. Now, if I put that bell back out here, you're not gonna ding it when you're supposed to.
Yeah, I'm gonna ding it
Oh,
anytime I
keep-
feel like it.
I know, man.
Outpost Survival Tip of the Week. No.
All right.
420.
Yep. 420, buddy.
420.
So today I
East side.
thought I would do blunts versus joints.
East side. West side.
And I don't know how many people are listening because our Facebook
No, this one's still
to
going.
get onto the comments.
Boom.
Because
Will you go put it back up?
this is some crap, man.
Remember?
Okay.
Don't tell anybody what it is. No, man. Did you click it already? Oh,
Crap.
the middle of the top one there on the right. I mean the left. I mean, yeah, that one. Then the one and then down, down,
There.
yeah,
There.
and then the one way up. Yeah.
I did that.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
I
Click, you didn't click
did.
it in the very, very middle of it.
That's
I have
silly.
a password that's based on a photograph, and you have to click it right on the spot. And if
But
you
there's
don't,
nothing to tell you where that spot is.
I'm not
It's an
telling.
imaginary
I'm not
spot
telling-
that he has in his
not
head.
telling anybody how I know what the spot is, but it hits the spot. I can hit the spot. I don't have to see it.
It's only about 2 inches in. That's all you got to do.
If you're curved correctly,
Oh, I'm curved.
Google, Chrome. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's up.
Anyways, so I thought I would do blunts versus joints. Now listen, if you're in a group of people, obviously you probably want a blunt.
I'll do that.
If you're just a couple, 3 people, you probably want a joint. But look, you can make joints as big as blunts. They have the king size papers now. They're very nice. They're very, very easy to roll.
Give me that mouse. You can talk while I'm doing it.
Negative.
You can talk while I'm doing it.
Okay.
You talk while I'm doing it.
Okay.
You
Here,
talk-
take that.
Yeah, you talk while I'm doing it.
Before I get
Hi.
This is ridiculous.
Well,
So, why don't you tell us what you think? If you're listening right now
oh,
and you
I thought
smoke
were asking
weed
me.
and you're watching live, if you're paying attention to this, once you get on Facebook, on Comedy Vets Facebook page,
Yeah.
and then comment whether you like blunts or joints. Which do you prefer? Right? Because you know blunts are a lot harsher. They have nicotine because of the paper, right?
Yeah.
So there's more to it. The smoke is thicker. You know, there's a difference.
Look, there are like 11 comments.
So who prefers that? Wow, see, we missed all that. How cool.
Boom.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Is anybody on there? Who is it? Oh, Shelly. Oh, Sia. James will be good at time. Will be at Good Time Charlie's in Chillicothe tomorrow night at 8. Doors open at 7. MC is going to be John Kyle Henry Thomas IV with Richard Montano, Typhoon Panda, and Richie Redneck Pimp King. Oh yeah, Redneck Pimp King. Aha. Susie isn't fat. She's a BBD. I love you guys, but you never get the fans involved. Hey, for the record, I tried this time. I actually was doing it.
We had it on.
crashed.
It crashed.
Isn't that terrible?
It updated itself.
And then CBD because I don't smoke. And then thank you. Oh, somebody was commenting the sweet spot there. Says you never get the fans involved. Well,
Yeah, we
listen,
tried.
I am terrible at that. I apologize. I do want to make
But it wasn't his
clear-
fault this time.
I do want to make it clear that we do this show for us, not you.
It was his fault. The reason it was his fault is
Don't take it personal.
Anytime he touches anything technology-wise,
terrible, yes.
the technology goes, what the hell?
And we were talking about that outside before I came in here about how I feel like Will Smith in iRobot. I do. I feel like a malfunction magnet because shit just malfunctions around me. It's like I have magnets in my fingers or something, and everything gets all spidery and fucked up. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then I'm the guy with bad luck. So I always have really bad luck. And then on top of that, I'm also the guy on a computer who hits the one button you're not supposed to hit that no one else can even find.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a hacker or some kind of computer programmer. I always find that. And they're like, how the fuck did you do that? And I'm like, my boss today was like, well, you're supposed to have that meeting on your calendar because I sent you the meeting in your email. Okay, so I looked in my email. There was no email. So I sent him a picture of my calendar, which had no meeting this morning. It just had the one for tonight. So then he calls me and he's like, yeah, well, when I send that email, it goes automatically to the calendar. The only reason that would come off the calendar is if you deleted it. I said, listen, Jeff. His name's Jeff. I said, listen, Jeff, if I knew how to delete stuff off the calendar, I would not have left all the other meetings that I missed on my calendar. I would have deleted them and be like, bro, it wasn't on there. Sorry. And he just stopped. He didn't know what to say that. I was like, I mean, think about it,
If I could work this thing, I'd work this thing.
Like if I knew if I knew the technology and understood it, would I be calling you all the time going, where's my competitive edge? Well, I fucking showed you that 2 days ago. Well, thank you, Jeff. If I remembered what you showed me 2 days ago, then I wouldn't have to fucking call you right now and ask you where it is. Thank you.
That's the third chair.
You're my boss, man. I'm supposed to call you if I need anything. Yes, but I shouldn't have to keep telling you the same same things over and over again. Okay, Jeff, thank you. I appreciate. Okay, now we know I'm old. I can't remember shit, and I'm techno idiot. So you gonna help me or you gonna fire me? What do you want me to do?
I'm sure you can find somebody younger and has better memory to do this job.
I don't know.
But just keep in mind, if you fire me, that's ageism, and I could sue your ass for discrimination.
That's funny.
Ageism. So yeah, I prefer joints over blunts because I don't like the nicotine. It makes my give me lightheadedness, and I don't like being lightheaded at the same time that I'm getting stoned.
You don't even smoke weed.
I don't even smoke it.
It's all right.
Neither. I just go ahead and use a bong. I go ahead and throw it into my improvised water smoking device because I can't say bong. I don't know why. You can buy pipes at the gas station now still?
Yeah.
All kinds of pipes.
There's one up the street from my house where you can buy a pipe.
Yeah, you can buy all kinds of pipes.
I don't buy a pipe. I already did that. Now I buy just the screens. So.
Because I already have the pipe. All you need is a screen. Don't even need a pipe. All you need is a screen.
You change them out good often enough.
No,
don't matter.
All you need is a screen and an apple or a pear.
For 5 of them. It's
an
ridiculous.
Apple or a pear work just fine. And if you don't have an apple or a pear, you can use a potato. But I'd use the red skin potato and not the regular russet potato.
Do not smoke it through a potato.
Yes, use the red skin potato because it's got less starch in it.
He doesn't smoke weed, people. Don't listen to this guy.
And if you're really desperate, you can use a turnip.
He's an Aries too, so you got to be careful because he'll say shit and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, he knows what he's talking about," and then you'll find out he was either fucking with you or he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Speaking of that, today's
look, he's like, shit, telling all my stuff.
Today's
me and your wife, the only people that knew up till today, Jeff.
Conjecture and fact. Okay, now
like
conjecture and fact.
I like this one.
So today's conjecture and fact is about precursor civilizations or precursor technological civilizations. Not just precursor civilizations, but technologically advanced precursor civilizations. Now these are civilizations. The term precursor means before now or before it had been written, before historically written. So a precursor civilization is a civilization that was around before we started keeping track of history, basically. The common precursors that are going on are in like video games and movies and TV shows and books, and they're all over the place or whatever, right? But the trippy thing about that is there's a lot of scientific information, evidence about precursors. There's geological evidence, there's archaeological evidence, there's a whole bunch of evidence for precursor civilizations. And the weird thing is that a lot of people believed in precursor, highly advanced technological civilizations before Darwin. Once Darwinian evolution hit, then everybody had to change the way all of the science was thought. I was watching a movie, which was it? 13 Ghosts. If you watch the movie 13 Ghosts, the dad in 13 Ghosts, he works in a
monk.
No, the original.
Oh, the original, yeah.
The dad works in a museum, and they're at the museum, and he's giving a tour at the museum, and he's talking about these dinosaurs and how these dinosaurs, they lived 13,000 years ago, and they died off around 13,000. They lived about 20,000 years ago, and they died off around 13,000 years ago. And he's talking about these dinosaurs that died 13,000 years ago. And that was like the 50s. Okay. 50s, 60s, something like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so all of our books on history and science and everything in the 50s and prior to that, they believed that the humans as we are right now, had only been around for a short period of time, and that we were living with dinosaurs around the same time, and the dinosaurs died off a short period of time ago. When Darwinian evolution... Humans. Yeah, well, when Darwinian evolution came along, that whole narrative changed. And they were like, well, we have to explain how humans went from bipedal hominids to, the way we are, Homo sapiens. How we went from that to this. How we went from that to Neanderthal to what we are now, right? So, they changed the whole way that science looked at the age of how long people have been around, right? So all scientific evidence and all archaeological evidence that flies in the face of that, they are burying it, literally, like repressing that information. You can't find that information. You can't get it. There are museums that are like creation museums. They call them creation museums now, even though a lot of the museums are just museums that just so happen to not believe in Darwinian evolution. You know what I mean? Because they have evidence of human beings living conjuncturally with, alongside dinosaurs or humans that lived a lot longer ago. Anyway, so.
I'm sorry, man, but the dating and shit, it just drives me crazy because it uses circular reasoning. There's no verification of age. And I'm going to tell you how we know this, okay? If you're listening to me and you're like shaking your head, stop, okay? How do we know that the Earth's core is made of molten whatever?
Yeah,
magma.
But see,
shh. How do we know that? We don't. How do we know that 50 miles down it's iron? We don't. You know why I know that? The deepest hole that's ever been dug on planet Earth ain't even 10 miles deep. So to tell me that anyone knows what the fuck is underneath that, they don't know what they're talking about, because they cannot verify it. It's just like Darwin. Darwin can say whatever the fuck he wants, okay? But remember this, Darwin had his theory when he went to the Galapagos Islands, right? Does anyone know what he was doing in the Galapagos Islands? Apparently, seminary school kicked his ass, and he was very stressed out. And they sent him on a forced vacation for 5 years to the fucking Galapagos Islands.
So he was already pissed off.
He was already off. Something was off with the guy. And they were like, What the fuck was that?
I think somebody's over there messing with the stuff. Anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah, outside. We locked the door, right? So nobody can sneak up on us.
Well, maybe it's Richie.
Okay, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Maybe.
Okay.
So anyways, so if you're thinking about this in terms of, don't, because you don't know what you think you know. And you know how I know that? Because I don't even know what I think I know, and I know a lot.
Well, yeah, and scientists will say that human beings developed around 200,000 years ago. And prior to that, there were no human beings on this
There's no way
planet.
to check that. There's no way to verify that.
But then
There's no way to prove it.
Then they found a basket that was carbon dated to 300,000 years ago. How did they have a basket that was carbon dated to 300,000 years ago? Either the carbon dating is wrong. Well, that's another thing. Carbon dating is wrong all around, but they use that as their way of doing it.
Right. But the carbon dating, they date the ground around it, and then that's how they date the stuff that's in the ground.
Yeah, but anything that's not dated, anything that's dated that the carbon dating says something, and it doesn't match with their Darwinian evolution way of how history is supposed to be, they reject it. They're, oh no, that's got to be wrong.
And see, people say this too about follow the science. Did you hear about the guy from the CDC that resigned not too long ago?
Yeah, but this has nothing to do with it.
Hold on, it does. It does, because people don't understand what's really happening. They think that it's survival of the fittest is what's really going on, and that Darwin was some kind of genius. Darwin was a crazy person, okay? And the people who, I don't know if you want to say financed him, or at least agreed with what he was talking about when he was talking about the theory of competition, which is what we're really talking about. Not the theory of evolution, but the survival of the fittest type theory, okay? There was an Italian guy, I believe, who was coming out with another book. And so everybody got Darwin to gather his shit together and try to keep his head above water and not be crazy long enough to get his book out first. Because he had done this research like 20 years earlier, okay? So you tell me why they didn't put the information out. Right? Nobody was in a hurry until the Italian guy wanted to put it out.
The biggest problem I have with Darwinian evolution is that people who believe in Darwinian evolution
don't realize it's a theory.
Are the ones
that think it's proven.
Are the ones who are actually promoting supremacy of races and species.
Okay. See, now you know where this is going. So check this out.
But it's not real.
Well, you remember I told you my uncle who was talking about useless eaters and
yeah.
Okay. So he told me, he's like, hey, vaccinated, or halfway at least. So he got one of the 2 vaccines, right? And I put, I'm surprised. I don't plan to be a guinea pig, but I guess you know what you're doing, even though they're not structured like a traditional vaccine. And not many people understand RNA stuff like you do. He has a PhD, right? And he put, it's science, man. It's not even that hard to understand. I wonder how many people resisted the vaccine for polio, which has still never been perfected. Understand that, look it up. There's still 2 different versions you can get of the polio vaccine. But I didn't want to get into this with him because he's the one who likes to talk about useless eaters and whatnot, right? So, hang on. I have to go all the way back up because I got lost on this thing. Okay. We live in interesting times where I can actually point out to my son that are evolutionary in nature. Now, remember, he's responding to what I said about the RNA vaccine, and he has a PhD, okay? Anyways, I don't call him doctor. I think he's bullshit sometimes. But anyways, times where I can actually point out to my son that are evolutionary in nature and say, see, those people got selected against in evolution. Selected against an evolution. Now he's talking about taking a shot that will change your DNA, but that you're being selected in evolution. So does anyone catch this? So selection is what we're talking about. Survival of the fittest, natural selection. Okay. But natural selection is being impeded by a shot that isn't part of the natural system. Okay, but he's not thinking like that because he thinks that what he learned out in California about all of us being useless eaters who need to be gotten rid of so that smart people like him can have a good life. I don't understand all that. But
But it's imposed selection, and they used to do.
See, that's what I told them.
They actually did studies on animals that they forced an quote evolutionary change in a group of animals by introducing to those animals in a closed, like on an island or whatever, a new predator. So they added a new. Oh, I did it again.
This thing's fucking did it again. All right, so
it must be a virus.
It said, right, a simple adaptation to their environment couldn't be made, and they died. This is what he's saying to his son. A simple adaptation to their environment couldn't be made. In other words, we didn't get this shot, and we're no longer able to produce. Listen to what I just said. Okay, this is a guy who was trained at UC Davis. A simple adaptation to their environment couldn't be made, and they died. We're no longer able to produce, and we as a species evolve a little. Darwin was right. I'm dumbfounded. People still resist wearing masks. Okay, which is also impedes a natural process. And I put, you do know that Darwin's trip to the Galapagos was forced by his family due to stress. Not only that, but he was a crazy person who saw his dead daughter everywhere, was actually seen speaking to her from time to time. He used to talk about old Chuck to anyone who would listen. Then they made the movie and people think it's fake. Fortunately, Darwin really didn't care about science as much as he cared about disproving the existence of God. That's what I think he was doing. Anyways, he also wasn't the first to postulate evolution, which is what my uncle was saying to me. Either way, it's true. And for those who can't adapt, Asta. So for you who don't want to take the vaccine and can't adapt to this evolution, which is forced evolution, right?
Yeah.
Asta. You can just die, right? This is what I'm saying. These people believe this stuff, man. You don't think they do, but they do.
Well, and the trippy thing is, like, what I was trying to say is, precursor civilizations, people today don't believe that there were technologically advanced precursor civilizations.
I got us off
because
subject.
They believe that we are at the pinnacle of technological advancement, that there couldn't have been anyone smarter than us back in the day. However, my thought process is, if we believe that we're so arrogant as to believe that we are the advanced civilization, let's say we continue to go through this society of recycling, biodegradable everything. Everything's biodegradable.
Everything should be. We should be able to recycle
even
everything.
if we weren't doing biodegradable everything. How long does it take?
At some point, yeah, I guess.
How long does it take for everything to disintegrate?
Yeah.
Let's say there was a civilization that was here 1 million years ago.
Like depleted uranium, what they say is like 4 billion years.
500,000 years ago. Let's say there was a civilization 500,000 years ago. There is no way today we would know that a civilization existed 500,000 years ago unless there was something that lasted through, all of the different things that had happened on this planet to show us that these precursor civilizations existed. The only thing we have now are little things like stories passed down generation to generation, like the Mayans, the Incans, the Sumerians.
Right. And see, how surprised were they about all the stuff that they knew? And then they uncovered all those Mayan ruins. They're still uncovering them, by the way. I don't know if anyone knows this. There are still pyramids down there that they haven't even seen yet.
And there are pyramids all over the world.
They haven't cleared them out.
Various places.
It's
that
everywhere.
People keep finding, and they're like, wow, this is a trip. Now check this out.
And that stuff is so old.
In researching this.
I'm not advocating for either, by the way.
In researching
13,000 or 13 million. I don't know.
In researching this, I found out that there is there's a theory called the cyclic. It's a cycle.
What the hell is that?
That science is a cycle, or the technology thing is a cycle. That societies go through a cycle. That political, the politics. It's probably a car. That politics goes through a cycle. People who understood that some things do go through a cycle are the Mayans. The Mayans made the Mayan calendar, but it wasn't for the future. It was to document the cycle of what was going on at the time. It wasn't for now. It wasn't a futuristic.
Well, a lot of people don't understand that the Mayan calendar was thousands of years.
Yeah.
Like they actually predicted cycles that occur over thousands of years.
Everything has a cycle. Even the sun has a cycle that has
cycles that had been there way before they ever became a society.
In the Evidence Bible back in 2001, when I first read this, I read about the sun
had
having
to get that from somewhere, right?
the sun having a cycle that is something like 100,000 to 200,000 years, where the sun goes. It's got an orbit, okay, and we are orbiting.
Like we supposedly
and
do.
we're orbiting around the sun, yeah. So if the sun is moving,
Don't get me started, dude.
Well, hold on.
Because what they tell us about that's bullshit too. I don't want to hear it.
So the sun is moving, and it has a cycle.
Maybe the sun is moving around the earth.
Postulating,
like the Bible says.
Postulating that the things that the things that the Mayans wrote in the Mayan calendar could have been a cycle that repeated itself.
We're
just seeing now that it already happened. And
like
then,
people don't remember. Was it like 10 years ago that Britain had that little mini ice age or whatever?
well, and other people are saying that so climate change is a cycle, which I believe that societies go through a cycle of political power.
Yeah.
So the Roman Empire,
and they're trying to subvert that now with Biden. A lot of people don't understand.
The Roman Empire lasted.
They tried to subvert the natural.
Yeah, the natural way that it
rhythm that we were in especially in America, because as a republic, a constitutional republic with democratic ideas. The idea was that the people would be in charge. Those were the democratic ideas.
Rome, the Roman Empire lasted between 500 and 1,000 years, depending on who you believe.
Right.
Okay, so if the cycle for the Roman Empire lasted between 500 and 1,000 years, and then another power or another group came into power, right?
Right. The Moors, wasn't it? Wasn't it the Moors who came in and
we're less than halfway through that cycle. If it's a 500-year cycle, we're halfway through a 500-year cycle. That's possible that we could have had the economic.
That's what I'm saying.
Power.
They've circumvented that.
Yeah, they're trying to circumvent that.
They already have. Listen, it's done. They've already done it. Listen, people, if you're not paying attention, they've already done it. They have changed the voting laws to match what they did to change the voting from this past cycle, and they told us that the election couldn't be tampered with. But in 2016, that's all they talked about.
Yeah.
Was how it was tampered. And now listen to what they're talking about.
Yeah.
How the Russians were involved. Yeah. Okay, well, can they tamper it or can they not? Because how is it that you're telling us that the Russians were involved
but this is bigger than
and the Iranians?
Yeah, but this is bigger than one election.
But Trump can't say that it was a rigged election.
So precursor civilizations lived.
I just got our video flagged. Sorry, man.
Yeah. I
said the T word. I apologize. DJT.
The T word? You mean that the
DJT.
The election was borrowed without permission?
and they have no intention of returning it ever.
So
that's sucked up.
Precursor civilizations in history, we have artifacts that we have found that are like, how could this be this old?
Yes.
How could this object be this old? Because there's no way that this object is that old because people weren't that technologically advanced.
That's what they say, but then we keep finding this stuff, dude.
They found a wristwatch etched into an egg.
Every time you say something like that, I expect a joke to come.
They found a wristwatch etched into the side of an egg. It looked like a wristwatch. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
From thousands of years ago, before wristwatches were even thought of.
Figured out time travel.
They have found
these objects are being found now.
They found rock surrounding.
Somebody traveled back in time and left them accidentally.
They found a rock surrounding like an iron or steel pickaxe. There's an iron pickaxe and another one's steel pickaxe, and they found rocks that are surrounding these iron and steel pickaxes that the end was poking out and it's sort of like weathered or whatever. How did that pickaxe get inside that rock? If it was billions of years old or millions of years old, how is it possible that a rock that is over 500,000 or even a million years old has something that is modern in it? Either A, the rock isn't that old, or B, somebody had the technology way back a long time ago, and they
or C, and there is I was going to say, and people say hoax. and it's very dismissive. But I want you to understand something. You know, the missing link and the fact that we supposedly came from apes, even though they're still apes. How the fuck's that possible? Because they should have died out if we evolved from them. But I don't want to go to that, right? Because, but the missing link was faked. Okay, for years, what was it, 40 years?
Archaeopteryx.
They had this thing in a museum.
Archaeopteryx was fake, or was
Is that
not
what it
correct.
was?
Well, no, Archaeopteryx was that bird.
Oh.
That was supposedly the missing
That's a
link
different
between lizards and birds. And Archaeopteryx, they mixed the bones from two different animals together. It's like finding this part of a pen and then this part of a pen and going, well, they got to go together somehow. So let's take this end off here and we'll put it on there. And now that's a new kind of pen that never existed before. It's people taking parts of two different.
Well, and it makes me wonder,
animals,
right?
Put them together.
What people
It's like a
think, or
sideshow.
what? I don't know, dude. There has to be some level of reality to the bones and what they're finding, but also if they're having a lot of these abilities that we have now, if they had a lot of these abilities back in the day, say, I don't know, pre-flood.
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about that, we can talk about all the evidence on the Sphinx alone of flooding and being submerged in water.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys want to talk, we can talk. I can do that all day. That's kind of what I'm
But even
good
if you don't, even if you don't believe in a pre-flood or a flood or whatever like that,
or the
even though,
mud flood of the 1800s.
even though all of the religions,
if you're interested,
all the major religions
Look
in the
that up.
entire world that were around back in Bible
it's a nice
days,
little rabbit hole.
all of them all have the same depiction of a flood. So even if you think that Christians or Jews stole the story from someone else, it doesn't change the fact that that depiction was in other religions around the world, in other places around the world.
Listen, and it's possible, and I don't know if the Bible had it exact, but they certainly seem to have a pretty good idea of what happened.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't
And they were
explain,
awful specific
that
about
doesn't
it.
explain how the Sumerians and the Incans and then the people in Tibet,
Story of Gilgamesh, is that the Sumerian
and there are
one?
people in Tibet that had writings,
Can't
and there are
remember.
Native American.
You know, look, in
Right.
China, look at China. I mean, didn't they say that their history is like 6,000 years old? The Jews, their history is almost 6,000 now,
Yeah.
right? Because they tick off every day now. I don't know if you people know this, but they tick off every day. And isn't that since the flood?
Yeah.
Isn't it they've been taking, so supposedly the flood happened 6,000 years ago.
Do you remember a time when
think about it like this too. If a flood happened 6,000 years ago and it just swept up all this stuff into it, and we're finding all these bones, wouldn't that make sense?
I think it's funny that they changed BC from before Christ to before Common Era,
It's to BCE. I
but
know.
they didn't change AD from Antidomania, which is after Christ or after God, after God here on Earth. So
it's
So the AD
Fucking
is
Latin
actually
stuff.
Latin for something has to do with God.
Yeah.
So you took away before Christ
after God
and changed it into BCE.
arrival. Is that a God's arrival? Something like that. But yeah, and it's so funny because I have realized that there's something to it, because the Satanists go out of their way to mock God and Jesus. Oh my Lord, please. And they go out of their way, and they would not do that unless it was important. And it would not be important unless that were Satan's adversary. And if that's Satan's adversary, doesn't that really prove what the Bible's trying to tell us?
Yeah. But even if you didn't
very
believe the Bible,
strange.
even if you didn't believe the Bible, okay,
Well, I'm not so sure that it's complete or
Torah?
or totally accurate,
you got the Torah,
because we have a
Sumerian text. You've got
translation of a translation,
you've got
sort of.
Sumerian text. You've got the Quran. You've got the Tibetan monks have their writings,
Yes.
and then you've got
And I've
the
told you
Torah.
about them monks talking about Jesus too. So
All have similar
You guys gotta remember that.
depictions of
this is
civilizations.
awesome. This may be the best segment ever.
Civilizations that lived before
We got time.
back in time before we were around, and that people used to live 800-900 years old. So if a person lived 800 or 900 years old, how many generations back before it's 100,000 years?
Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
How many generations back before it's 200,000 years or 300,000 years or a million years or whatever?
Yeah.
And let's assume.
And why are we just now getting to billions on the planet?
Well,
you know?
and if you back up,
something has to keep knocking out the population.
the further back you went, the older people were. People went from, let's say now the age, what is it, 70, 80 years old is the
Sure.
the
Whatever.
where
The age of reason.
the
Oh.
time it's about 7 or 80 years is the lifespan of a human being now.
I get you.
Okay. And then when during the like dark what do you call it, the medieval times it was something like, I don't know, 30 years old, 20 years old, some junk like that, because of all the pestilence and stuff like that. But back before that, it was like 100 years or 200 years, because the way that the people lived, they lived a pure live off the land and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then prior to that, because they weren't moving around very much, they lived longer than that. And longer than that, my point being is that you've got texts that are outside of the Bible that talk about people living hundreds of years, even 1,000 years, whatever.
Right.
So if you've got people who lived 100 years or 1,000 years, and the lifespan is getting shorter over time, then that the logic there would be that the lifespan would get longer the further back in time you get.
Okay.
And if the lifespan is longer, the further back in time you get, then people could potentially have lived 2,000-3,000 years. If one person lived, let's say 500 years, 200 years, whatever. If one person was able to have the vitality of a young person, even to 100 years old, let's say you kept your wits about you and you were physically able till you were 100 years old. Let's say when you were 20 years old or 30 years old, you had that mental capacity and the physicality from when you were 20 or 30 years old, and you had that same physicality and mental capacity when you were 100 years old. Don't you think over that amount of time, you'd be able to perfect something? You'd become very, very good at something. You would learn through experiences.
Well, we talked about this before with Groundhog Day, right? Where I said that somebody actually sat down and did the math because of all the things that he learns. And it doesn't count all the stuff that was clipped out, because there's some of that stuff that was cut, right? But they figure it takes 10,000 applied hours to master anything.
Yeah.
So like when he played the piano, that's 10,000 hours. When he did ice sculpting with a chainsaw, that's 10,000 hours. And they did it like that to kind of guesstimate. And they guesstimated that he had lived on Groundhog's Day for 4,000 years or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
So anyways.
So that's
not
basically
very loud. Oh wait, that's way down there. Sorry, go ahead.
It's not listing it in chronological order, I don't think. I've got it on my phone now.
No, it's down here.
I know, but I got it on my phone.
No, shh. Go check Jeff. Go check Jeff. I'm not checking Jeff.
No, he was telling me to go check about
check
the stuff.
Oh, the F word, free pizzas. No more free pizzas since I use the F word.
Oh yeah.
We haven't done any. I didn't even get any free pizzas, so fuck it.
We had pizza from Pizza Shop. They have 3 convenient locations: one in Kearney in the Orchlands parking lot, one in St. Joe in the Baskin Robbins parking lot, and one in Savannah on the historic downtown square. So that was Conjecture of Fact, which was really fun. Even though there were some other, things I wanted to get into with that, but because there's a lot that has to do with precursor civilizations. I mean, you can go all day with it. But you ever play video games and they had a bunch of stuff about precursor civilizations? Jak and Daxter, the video game Jak and Daxter, had a bunch of it in there, where they talked about precursor civilizations and these orbs from the precursor technology. You've got Assassin's Creed, the video game series that has the precursor races and groups and stuff like that. John Connor, we talked about this briefly last week, John Connor, because I said it's a great movie. John Connor was a series of books written.
John Connor, Terminator.
Carter, John Carter.
John Carter.
John Carter.
Gotcha.
Was a series of books written around the same time by the same guy that did Tarzan. So the guy that wrote Tarzan wrote John Carter.
So it's Tarzan from Mars.
Tarzan from Mars, the man from Mars. So they tried to adapt it into movies and tried to adapt it into comic books and cartoons and stuff like that. And over 100 years, they tried to adapt it into a movie and couldn't. And then they finally adapted it into a movie because the technology that he was explaining into it, and they did it as a Disney movie, which it was under budget when it was made. It wasn't over budget; it was under budget, and
So they could have done more with
it was
the movie.
well produced. It was well acted. The whole movie is a great movie. And a lot of people are saying that the reason they think that it didn't go over as well as it did is because John Carter, a lot of the scenes in the movie reminded them of other movies that had already come out, like Star Wars, Dune, a bunch of other movies.
Because
But those other
had
movies-
pulled from that book.
They had borrowed Dune. You had the Martian Chronicles. You had Star Wars.
Yeah, dude, definitely.
You know, a bunch of these other movies. They drew inspiration from John Carter.
Right. Gotcha.
So that's where that's
Interesting.
at,
Awesome.
dude. So this second half, we're gonna talk about prison rules. We're gonna be talking about woke this week. What was woke? Who's been canceled? Comedy horror. Where we're gonna just discuss.
You're a whore.
I don't even know what the comedy horror is gonna be about. I can't remember because I didn't read.
Slim for life.
Weight loss. I'm
No,
gonna say
Slim
weight.
for life.
I'm just gonna say weight loss.
I know you did that.
Pathetic.
I said.
The pathetic pet of the week this week is going to be
Excuse me.
what's his name? I have it in here as Jack. It's not Jack. Somebody else. It's not Jack. I need to change that. Comedy Judo, which my beautiful lady is going to be doing that later on, and then hopefully we'll get to taking out the trash and the closing arguments because we are
Yay.
50 minutes from the end of the show. So prison rules.
All right. Well, guess what?
You-
Can I have my banner here, please, sir? Jeez. I know you don't want that for yours, but I would like it for mine, please.
It said every time I pop something up like that, it says encoder is overloaded. Please try not to do that anymore.
Is that really? What's
It did. It
Please
said,
try not to do that
no.
anymore.
It said.
Oh, okay.
It said cut it out, man.
All right.
Come
So,
on, man.
it's spring break,
Come on, man.
and my kids couldn't wait for jujitsu class, so I got hurt. At first I thought it was a high ankle sprain, but now I'm starting to think I pulled the muscle right next to my shin. So it's not fun. So it's healing.
Is that what that was from?
Oh my gosh, yeah, the wrap, I had to take it off, man. It was just too much. So anyways, I don't want to talk about it. I'm in a lot of pain. That's why I'm taking the damn CBD and smoking the damn CBD and then smoking all the weed too. Well, actually, I smoke the weed anyways. But my point is that
I'm just making
am
faces at you.
doing all of the stuff because I'm in a lot of pain.
Is that it? That's your whole thing? You just got tired of me making faces at you?
Yeah.
Okay, woke this week. And if you have any woke this week, anything that was canceled, or people who are woke, or companies that are woke, if you can think of any. But wait, you gotta let me do mine first.
I know. I have one though.
Okay.
I brought mine for work this week.
You did? Awesome. So woke this week or canceled. What was canceled? White House staff, a bunch of White House staff, they were canceled this week because they were asked to resign or they were fired for past marijuana use. The only person in the White House's White House staff that didn't get fired or asked to resign is Kamala Harris, because
That
of course
bitch ain't never smoked no weed.
the story that she told about smoking weed and listening to Tupac was way before Tupac was even around. So we know it was a lie. So she wasn't called on that.
That's funny. That bitch is she's too much.
CNN was canceled by themselves. CNN has lost 1 million viewers per day since Trump left office. So CNN is losing a 1 million viewers a day.
Awesome.
So what's that, 44 million viewers so far?
Oh yeah, that's like what is it? Whatchamacallit too?
Or something like that.
Dropped him.
So February he
Twitter.
January was
Twitter get like
I don't
half
know.
of their traffic or something now
so yeah, Twitter was canceled by themselves.
by themselves.
Columbia University, they're woke. Columbia University is so woke that they're having 6 separate graduation ceremonies based on race, sexual orientation, and economics. So basically what they're saying is, we're so woke and we want to come together and unify and unite as one nation. However, you can go to your own graduation, don't come to mine. They're segregating.
Fuck.
They're segregating, but as long as it's a voluntary segregation, it's okay. As long as we suggest that you go to your own group graduation, then it's all right. It's whatever. And this one I found out today.
What's up?
Aunt Jemima syrup, they had been canceled, right?
Yes.
So they had a bunch of Aunt Jemima bottles that were already made. So what they did, because it's the bottle itself is embossed with Aunt Jemima,
Yeah, I was gonna say
the name on there, they filled them with Captain Crunch syrup and put the Captain Crunch stickers on the bottle, and they're selling.
Wait, what is Captain Crunch?
Captain Crunch syrup. There's Captain Crunch syrup. There's like blueberry and different Captain Crunch syrup.
Okay.
So there's Captain Crunch syrup, and
I did not know.
if you look closely at the bottle, it's an Aunt Jemima bottle. Aunt Jemima syrup bottle.
Crazy.
What's
That's crazy.
your woke this week?
All right. So if you're from around here, maybe you'll appreciate this.
Maybe you ain't from around here, y'all.
The this is from the Star, Kansas City Star. So the headline reads, in quotations, "It was horrific," and then colon. Of course, the quotations are closed now. It says, "New reason to rename Negro Creek."
But that's not even how you pronounce it.
Shh. For decades, Johnson Countyans, can't believe they put that in there, passed down the story of a black man who ran away from the Missouri farm of a prominent, notoriously violent family to escape slavery. Colonel James C. Childs was a slaveholder and politician in Jackson County who pushed to make Kansas a slave state and organize the settlement of pro-slavery migrants. His son, James J., or Jim Crow Childs, was an infamous bushwhacker who was connected to several murders but never served time for his crimes. A story circulated that a man enslaved by Childs escaped and fled toward Kansas. Men tracked the slave following the Blue River and eventually catching up to him at a tributary just across the state line. It was there that the man chose to die by suicide rather than continue a life of brutal abuse and captivity. Today, that tributary, which flows through a part of Leawood, thought you would like that.
Yeah.
Because I chose to bring this before you even mentioned Leawood.
Yeah.
And Southern Overland Park is named Negro Creek, after the Negro with no name, apparently. Many Johnson County residents said they were unaware that any such place existed near their backyards, much less knowing the painful piece of history that experts only recently discovered is the probable, what did I just say? Probable origins of the creek's name. But the small unmarked creek that runs through a golf course in one of the most affluent areas. This is where they got me for a second, man. I was like, okay, wealthiest county, one of the most affluent areas, Kansas' wealthiest county, has held the name since at least the 1850s when it first appeared on a map, historians found. And in several cases, the stream was called by the racial slur, guess what, creek. Many say it's time for the name to change. Not the Guess What Creek, but the Negro Creek. It's very painful and traumatic to read the historical narrative about what happened. Now you know why
it's a history.
Now you know why it fits with woke this week. Now we can't call it Negro Creek, which to me, if this really happened, now listen to what they said. Probable. If you read the article, and I'm not going to, if you read the article, they can't even prove this happened. Okay? So they named it after a Negro who escaped slavery when he was caught, committed suicide, so that he wouldn't go back into slavery.
Yeah.
Okay? And they named it Negro Creek in honor of the black man who defied slavery by killing himself.
See, so that's a good thing.
I'm not going to say it was a good thing, because when I found out it was in an affluent area in a golf course, I was like, oh, dang, that sounds a little racist to me. But my point was more of the idea of calling it Negro Creek. The reason they called it Negro Creek wasn't because another Negro died at that creek. It was because the guy made a statement as a human being, no more. He put his foot down, no more.
People are lame. People are
lame.
I used to go to
woke is.
I used to go to a restaurant in California called Sambo's, and this restaurant all over California, or various locations in California, called Sambo's. They forced the people to change the name Sambo's because it was a racial slur, but it was the name of the two people that owned the restaurant, Sam and Bo. Sambo's was the two people that owned the restaurant.
But isn't Sambo like a type of...
It's a racial slur now.
Why? It's a type of food or something.
No, that's bimbo.
No.
Bimbo.
No, it's like a South American dish called Sambo or something. There's a type of dance called Sambo.
There was a lady at one of the grocery stores that got mad because she picked up a package of pastries and it said bimbo on it. And she was like, how can you sell this? It says bimbo. It's basically calling women whatever. But
it started before bimbo was a slur on women or something.
The man explained it's bimbo. Bimbo, and it's a Mexican word because that company started in Mexico, and that pastry company Bimbo has been around for a long time, and it originally started in Mexico.
And in Spanish, bimbo doesn't mean
it doesn't
bimbo.
mean
Bimbo doesn't mean that, you idiots. So real quick, let me finish with this one little part, okay?
Get off the phone.
So many agree that the troubling history of the creek's name justifies the efforts to change it. I think there was a total consensus in our group that this needs to change. I think there was a total consensus in our group. I think there was there a total consensus? Because that would mean everyone in your group. Or was there one person who said this is fucking stupid? Then it would not be a total consensus, and you wouldn't think there was, because you would know that there are some people who don't agree with this shit. Anyways, I know I shouldn't cuss so much, but I'm like lit
I accidentally
today.
left prison rules up for the whole time we were talking.
And my hope is that this process will provide a larger conversation as we struggle to reconcile with our country's history and educate ourselves.
Why don't you educate yourselves?
Where we want to go.
Educate yourselves on this. Do you know who founded slavery or fought for slavery?
You can't run from the past, but you can use it to better know who you are.
Do you know who was a proponent of slavery? Democratic Party. Do you know who fought against civil rights?
Yep.
Democratic Party.
Yep.
Do you know who founded the KKK?
Terrorists.
Democratic Party.
They were called terrorists because they were blowing shit up around the time.
Do you know who created the Jim Crow laws? Democratic Party. Do you know who was oppressing most black people and minority groups around the country? Democratic Party. So do you know who started his political career supporting Jim Crow laws? I call him Jim Crow Joe. Now check this out.
Let me finish. Biden. Okay, I'm finished.
If you want you some, what do they call that when they pay you money for your past people you get paid money for someone else's past mistakes.
Black man?
No, starts with an R.
Retribution?
Not not restitution, not
Restitution.
retribution. It's I can't remember. I think it starts with an R. You know, where they're paying all those black people in Chicago just for being black.
Oh, God. What is that word?
I can't remember that word. Anyway,
Are we allowed to say that word?
what? That word for giving back money to people?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say it?
Yeah, whatever that's called. I can't remember. Reparations.
Reparations?
You want reparations
I
paid?
thought you were playing a game with me, dude.
You know who?
I totally thought you were playing a game where you were like acting like you didn't remember the
I know,
word.
I know.
You didn't want to trigger anyone.
Do you know who needs to pay reparations? The Democratic Party.
Oh, you ain't
So the Democratic Party needs to start paying reparations
Especially
to all the
Nancy
people
Pelosi.
they've negatively affected.
I think Nancy
saying.
Pelosi needs to be sued for trademark infringement on Tales from the Crypt.
You know, speaking of that, comedy whore.
You're a whore.
You're a dirty whore.
So, my wife wants to lose weight, and I am conflicted. That's why I opened up with talking about how much I like big girls.
Yeah.
And the funny part about my wife, this is how I know I still love my wife. I'm still in love with my wife, because I still see the same chick I met like 12 years ago who came down the hallway wrapped in my bed sheet and nothing else. Right? But back then she had a little bit of a belly, but she had really big boobs.
Oddly
right?
enough,
You
she
can't
didn't
have big
when
boobs.
I met her, she didn't have the bed.
without a bit of, yeah, right?
Sorry.
But like, so when I first met her, I could put, when I did the Pillsbury Doughboy challenge, you know, where you poke her in the belly, and my finger would go like this far into her belly button. Now it's more like that.
She used to have almost an
Now-
outie, and now she has an innie.
Yeah, you could see her belly button before you cannot no more. Now, part of that is she had 2 kids, and like my oldest jokes with her about her being round and me being straight. My oldest daughter likes to joke around about that, right? But I try to tell her that she's stretched out because she had 2 babies, right? And that stretched you out. And then she had C-section, so then you got like all the damage and stuff like that. So I get all that, right?
So the muscles can't hold properly.
Right. There you go. So, you know, scar tissue,
Yeah.
all that other shit that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Right.
You cut the muscles, what's going to happen?
Right.
Muscles will be weaker.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. We'll talk about that another time. Anyways,
I thought you meant Weight Watchers because you watch people who have a lot of weight on, ladies who have a lot of weight on them. Hey, baby.
so
Hey, baby, how you doing?
I love my wife, you know, and she's wanting to lose some weight, but I'm a little torn because I like some meat on the bones. I'm worried that, you know, she can get all skinny and be like, hey, you need to eat a hamburger or something, because I don't like skinny girls.
This is hitting too close to home, bro.
Right? That's so funny, dude. I didn't mean it like that.
Well,
though.
my wife had bariatric surgery and skin removal, and she lost a lot of weight, right? And now when I come home with something that I like to eat, like you know, like little Debbie snacks or something like that, you know, well, I like little Debbie snack. I shouldn't be eating it because I'm big too, but now my wife is like, so you trying to sabotage me? Because you liked big girls, so now you want me to get back to being big? You want me to gain my weight again? And I'm like, no, I like little Debbie snacks. She goes, yeah, but if you bring them in the house, I'm gonna eat them. I'm like, well, don't eat them. They're mine. She goes, but that's, you can't walk into a person who loves crack and you walk in with a bunch of
take
crack.
a drunk into a bar, tell them drinking old duels. It's
Yeah.
not gonna work. It's not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my wife is so funny, dude. She likes it's like competitive, right? Where she talks about how she got me to marry her even though I didn't want to be married, and she got me to have kids, and like she's proud of that. Talks shit about it in front of my face like I'm not even there, right? And I'm like, that's fucked up. You're literally saying that you ruined a man's dream to be perpetually single so that you could boss him around for the rest of his life. I don't understand why you would brag about that. I would think you would be contrite.
Yeah.
Love you, dear.
Yeah, you don't talk about that stuff. Wow. Man. See, if you hit it the wrong way,
I know.
it won't ding.
It didn't ding, did it? All right.
This next segment is called the Pathetic Pet of the Week. Oh, look, my thing is different now.
Pathetic pet.
I'm going to have to move me.
Pathetic.
Hold on. I got to move me.
Pet. I don't think you're going to move you.
No, that's you.
Yeah.
Going to move me.
There you go.
I can't move me.
Where are you going to move yourself to, homie?
I was going to move me.
Homie Tay.
I was going to move me so that the top of my head isn't cut off because I moved the camera, but I moved the camera because we could see this camera now because I lowered it.
I get you. And now you're too close.
This week's Pathetic Pet of the Week is...
That's right, it's Pathetic Pet of the Week, not Comedy Judo. Coming at the wall.
Boom.
No, we can't do that one again. That's the same one, ain't it?
No.
Yeah.
I got to take this off, though.
Yeah, get rid of the Chihuahua.
Pathetic Pet of the Week. This is Chester.
We did this one last week.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did Chester last week.
No, we didn't do Chester.
Yes, Chester the Chihuahua.
No, didn't do Chester.
Who did we do last week?
It was a female.
Chester the
No,
Chihuahua.
it was a female.
No, we did Chester the child molester. Chihuahua.
This is Chester the Chihuahua. Look at Chester.
He looks like a perv. Look
Chester,
at him.
he's got that one eye going on. You know what he reminds me of? Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker dog. Sorry. He's normal there.
Yeah, that's funny.
Whatever.
It's just a one.
Oh, he's being Palsy the Bell. Look at the bell. Look at the bell.
That's funny.
That's funny. Okay, so this is Chester. Chester's a Chihuahua located in Kansas City, Missouri. He's an adult male, medium size. Everything's up to date in his health wise. Well, they have a date of birth for him.
Wow, his birthday's coming up. Better hurry.
April 1st. He was a April Fool's Day joke. That looks like a
He's
joke.
an Aries. That's a tough little dog right there.
Mm-hmm. He weighs 11 pounds. The adoption fee is $250. Includes a 2-week trial.
Is he
for
bigger than the
happiness.
round one?
No, she's like 20 something.
Oh gosh.
Chester and his buddy Mouse were surrendered to Furry Kids Refuge.
His buddy Mouse.
When there's another dog named Mouse. When his owner's health became bad, and they had to get rid of him. So he enjoys outside. He enjoys being outside, and he quickly warms up to people. You can read this yourself.
He's neutered, vaccinated, heartworm tested negative, and microchipped.
Children over the age of 10, please. So anyone under the age of 10, was he going to attack them?
I don't know. He's awful fat.
Furry kids. Hey, drop-off donations are a weekly adoption event in Lee Summit at the Petco on Chipman Road.
Yay, that's over by my house.
So Furry Kids Refuge located in Kansas City.
Sorry, Cheston. No chihuahuas. You're about the size of my dog's squeak toy.
So for more information, you can send an email, info@furrykidsrefuge.org. I guess you could go to the website, furrykidsrefuge.org, and check their stuff out. Yeah. Furrykidsrefuge.org. And you can even figure out how to be a foster parent, foster doggy parent, or a kitty cat parent. Probably only dogs. I think they only do dogs. But seriously, man.
Seriously, man.
Chester the Chihuahua, man. You know what I'm saying? Chester the Chihuahua.
Man.
Chester the Chihuahua is really cool, man.
Yo, man.
So, take off comedy whore. We're not doing that.
You're a whore.
So, hey, lovely lady, if you're listening, we are ready for our picture.
Comedy Judo.
Comedy Judo. We're ready for the comedy judo thing. So, and maybe I should send her a message. She's listening. Maybe I should type in, we are ready. Are you ready? Bone saws ready.
Where did you type it in? I don't see it.
Right there.
Where? Right there?
We are ready. Bone saws ready. Yeah. See, because Mrs. Onyx is in there. Look.
Slim Jim.
My lovely lady with my lovely lady.
What's up?
She's in the chat room. If you want to look at the chat room, you can go to chat.kccomedy.com. If you want to support what we've got going on here, you could shop for awesome Comedy Vets material, merchandise like these patches, these Comedy Vets stickers, dog tags, necklaces, keychains, stuff like that. You go to shop.comedyvets.us, shop.comedyvets.us. Shop.comedyvets.us. You ready for it? I'm gonna pull it up on here, and then once I pull it up on here, then I'll pull it up on the other screen so everybody at home can see what we're looking at. You ready?
Okay, so it's a meme this time, not a photo.
Yeah, so we're gonna write a joke about the.
Just so you know, Mrs. Onyx, we're trying to do photos, not memes.
Well, yeah, but do you get the reference? Say fentanyl in the mirror 3 times, and
I don't get the reference.
Candy Floyd will show up and burn down your local Advanced Auto Parts. Candyman.
No, I don't get the
Candyman
reference.
He was a guy with a hook on his hand, and he was if you say Candyman 3 times, are you kidding? You do know what I'm talking about. Candyman, you say Candyman 3 times. Never mind. I thought you were not knowing.
Really, Bloody Mary. That was the original.
Well, and then it became Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
Beetlejuice.
But supposedly that's a thing.
Spoilgeist.
Yeah.
So.
It's the name of a star system. Anybody ever put those two things together?
No, it's a comet. Is it a comet, or is it a star system? Yeah, you're right. Is it a star system? Beetlejuice. Beetlegeist.
I wish people could see my face right now. The look of.
Oh, maybe we should play some music while we're doing this.
Yeah, because you know. I always wanted to do that one. I can't breathe. I ate my stash. Sweets to the. I know. I'm just gonna do my jokes while I'm doing it.
I'm done. Are you done?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead. What?
Did Candy Floyd have a twin brother?
What was Candy Floyd?
Tried to get revenge on his. You didn't see that?
No.
After Floyd died, you didn't see that he had a twin brother supposedly?
No.
And nobody said a word about a twin brother till like a week after he died. And then all of a sudden he had a twin brother.
Weird.
Yeah, I wonder who it really was.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Candy Floyd.
Crisis actor?
Yeah, I think Candy Floyd was a crisis actor.
Did you see that guy from the it's not a funny situation, but you see that guy they were interviewing in Colorado? They were interviewing the guy in Colorado after the event. And the guy goes, yeah, I totally saw everything that was going on. And he starts laughing.
Uh-huh.
And then he starts like, yeah, I saw what kind of weapon it was. It was AR-15. And he looked over like he was looking at somebody.
Yeah.
So
terrible. It's like they're either not trying to hide it.
If you're gonna find an actor,
they don't care.
If you're gonna find an actor to be a crisis,
like Robbie. Robbie was a good crisis actor, but they had him on camera.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna find a crisis actor, don't find somebody like Keanu Reeves. Dude,
like,
oh man,
I saw the guy,
and he was like,
and he had like
He was like, whoa. And I was like, whoa. And he was like, whoa.
And then he was like, I'm gonna kill you. And I was like, whoa.
Whoa. And he was like, oh,
That's
I
terrible. We're terrible people.
ran out of bullets. Whoa.
That's like the Batman thing. When that happened, I was watching Batman, The Dark Knight.
And you saw what was going down?
Well, no, I was in a movie theater in Florida. So,
Oh.
yeah, I wasn't anywhere near what happened. But it was weird that I was in one of the people that was watching this while it happened.
Shoot.
And I actually used to live in Aurora, Colorado. I went to Rangeview High School for a year.
What's messed up is after that went down, we were doing comedy shows at the movie theater, and they would let me go before a movie would start. I would go in and stand at the front of the auditorium with the lights on and go, "Hi, I'm Jeff, and we do comedy shows here every Wednesday night. I'd like to invite you guys out to come out to the comedy show." And a couple times when I did that, people were like,
"Tell us a joke."
No, they were like, "What the hell is this guy doing? Well, what are you doing over there?"
Yeah. Hey, man.
Don't start nothing.
I saw The Dark Knight, man. You ain't doing that here.
Start nothing, man.
Yeah, well, let me just say this. There's a reason why they closed down the Blue Ridge Mall movie theater.
Just as long as you have enough antibiotics in your system, you got free candy and free popcorn all over the floor. Man. In that movie theater, if you wanted some free candy and some free popcorn, all you had to do was like reach down on the ground.
He's a good producer. What do you want me to say?
You go every time you go to the movie theater, just remember there's free candy.
All right, come on, candy man.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first today. 'Cause I already did my jokes.
In a time of movie remakes, and in the woke culture, the movie Candyman is being reimagined by Black Lives Matter.
You know what gets me is that when the real information comes out later, people don't.
Thank you, darling.
They don't realize the information that comes out later. Like when they showed the video of George Floyd sitting in the back of the car eating his freaking drugs, right? Which is why he couldn't breathe, which is why I can't breathe. I ate my stash. That's why I did that joke. And then I put sweets to the sweet. Sweets to the sweet was the
Speaking of that, we were gonna bring a new segment up called "Taste This."
Who was you and your wife?
My wife and I thought of something.
I was gonna bring. You never discussed it with me.
I was gonna bring something up, and I was gonna go. I was gonna go. All you have to do. We decided.
You and your wife decided.
All you have to do is we're each gonna taste this. We're going to taste something. And each week it'll be something we're going to taste. And it would be like, because we ate some pork rinds. And I like pork rinds and I like barbecue pork rinds.
This is nasty. Try this. I'm not that guy. Don't do that to me. I'm not that guy.
Salt and vinegar
I won't
pork rinds.
touch them.
Salt and vinegar pork rinds. Whoever thought of that?
Fucking idiot.
Horrible. We took a bite of it. I'm like, it ain't that bad. And then I'm like, and Melissa took a bite of hers and she's like, she spit it out in her hand and then swigged her, drank some water, but I already chewed mine up. So I had to go spit it out.
That's funny.
It's taking out the trash. Look, we made it.
Taking out the trash this week.
15 minutes.
Excuse me.
And closing arguments if we wanted to. So
if we get there.
Yeah, taking out the trash. Who are we taking out?
I would like to take out the trash on everyone involved in the FDA, the CDC.
When we say taking out the trash, we don't mean taking out the trash.
No, I mean like draining the trash. Just like DJT style.
It's stinking up the place. It's just move it out of the area we're in.
I don't understand how people can say, like, listen, man, I'm tired. Okay,
you hear Hunter Biden being investigated?
It's my turn.
They're investigating Hunter Biden?
It's my turn. Fuck Hunter. Punk ass. He's punk ass.
The
whole fucking family's corrupt. And you can't.
Donald Trump Jr.
You can't even.
They're investigating Donald Trump Jr.
Okay.
because he posted that GIF of the baseball being thrown at the back of Biden's head and Biden falling down the stairs.
Yeah.
So they said it was a threat.
So they said that he threatened to go back in time and throw a ball at Biden's head.
Yeah, to assassinate.
Fucking moron.
It's a threat, and it's basically what do they call it? Whistleblowing or not whistleblowing? Dog whistling.
Dog whistling. Well, listen, okay, if you're watching the show, okay,
Hi.
and you think that I should have to wear a mask for your health, then you're probably watching the wrong show. If you think that a mask works because it's science,
Yeah.
then you're probably watching the wrong show. The only reason I say that is because everyone all of a sudden thinks that these rules were because the government gives a fuck about us. They don't. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. You think Nancy Pelosi gives a fuck about any of us? You think that she cared about us? That's why she gave us the measly little $1,400 when she's got $1,400 worth of high-grade ice cream alone in her freezer? Give me a fucking break. Listen to me very carefully, okay? It's not science to wear a mask to prevent other people from getting a disease, okay? All it did was slow down the process and make it take longer so that you get more strains that come out and mutate. Because the thing hangs around and hangs around. How do I know this? Ask me. Say, Jay, how do you know this, Jay? How do you know that the government doesn't give a fuck about its people? Well, let me tell you. I bought some Gold Bond foot powder the other day. My feet stink from time to time. I walk 6 to 8 hours a day for my job. That's what I do. I walk around and knock on fucking doors.
Gold Blonde medicated powder.
Medicated foot powder. Do you know what's still in Gold Bond medicated foot powder?
I can't use it because there's talc in it.
Talc.
I'm allergic to talc.
Listen to what I just said to you. There is talcum powder in the Gold Bond foot powder, and they're still selling it. Do you know why that surprises me?
Because
Has anyone heard about the suing,
people
the
are getting
civil
sued over it.
cases for talc causing reproductive damage?
Yeah.
And the billions of dollars that are... Okay, so listen to what I'm telling you.
How many generations of babies did
They are paying
baby
out
powder?
on talcum powder cases where they have killed people's chance to ever have a baby. And they have not taken that out of the products. Are you paying attention, people? They don't give a fuck about us. They don't care. They still have a list of what they know causes cancer. It's called a carcinogens list. They have a list of items that they know cause cancer.
And it doesn't even have the thing like in California. If you live in California, it says residents of California warning, and it has a warning on there.
It should.
Most things
this
that are-
product is known to cause cancer.
Most things that are with talc in it don't say that.
So I'm going to say one more thing to you. If you think cancer's hereditary, that you get it because you inherited from your parent, you're not paying attention. They have lists that you can look up to find out what causes cancer.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that causes cancer most? Polluted air. Guess what else causes cancer quite often? Polluted water.
I know.
Chemically laden, polluted food.
Do you know what the number one thing that
It's
causes?
ridiculous.
You know what the number one thing that causes cancer in lab rats?
Taking out the trash.
Scientists.
That's
Here, look.
great.
Here, there you go.
Is there talc in it?
I don't think there is because I use that.
Distyrdimonium hectorite.
Yeah.
Fragrance. Oh, isobutane.
Yeah.
Ooh. Isopropyl myristate. SD alcohol 40B. Sodium bicarbonate. That's your...
So here's my taking out the trash.
Whatchamacallit? Your
You ever go into a Facebook group
clay or whatever.
for whatever town you live in,
Sodium
or area you live in,
polyacrylate.
and the people in that
phosphate.
town, they're in everybody else's
Are you
business.
giving this to
Yeah,
me?
you can have that.
Okay.
People are in everybody else's business. They're like, hey, I heard a loud sound outside. Does anybody know what it is? Hey, I saw a lady walking down the street. She looked like she was crying. I'm thinking about going back and seeing if she's okay. Hey, did anybody notice that car that was driving down the street that had one of the windows broken out? Hey, it's like, mind your own damn business. Mind your own business.
Or just don't share it with people.
If you see somebody bleeding, you can help stop the blood. But don't be like running over there like all up in somebody's business.
Hey,
does anybody...
did you hear that Daryl's bleeding in his cornfield?
Does anybody...
why don't you call 911?
I saw police cars drive by my house. Can anybody tell me what's going on down the street? No, nobody can tell me what's going on down the street. You know why? It's down the street. It has nothing to do with you.
I'm yawning. I apologize.
Another thing. Okay, so people were in the in Kansas City North group or something like that on Facebook, and they would take a picture of something and they would circle something in the picture, and then they would say, "Can anybody tell me what?"
You should check the Facebook page comments. I did. Oh shit! There's more.
Yeah, you scroll it. Oh no!
Stop! You son of a beach.
No, you gotta scroll like this.
No.
Like that.
Lori Gaultier. I used it for 10 years and I'll be surprised if I don't end up with cancer. Aw.
Uh-huh.
And now they're one of the manufacturers of the COVID vaccine. That's true, Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah. Hey,
holy shnikes.
Hey, so this lady took a picture
Lori said amen. Thank you, Lori.
This lady took a picture of these factories in North Kansas City, and she circled them, and she goes, "Can anybody tell me what these plants are? Hey, can anybody tell me what these plants are?" So everybody's commenting. I think that's the Johnson & Johnson place. I think that's the whatever. And they were mentioning all the different places they think these buildings were, right? So I said, I think that's riverweed or sage. Might be some Osage orange in there too. Because they asked what kind of plants were in the circle. Well, in that circle, they circled some actual plants.
They had some weed.
It had some stuff in it. I'm like, yeah, I think that's a
good one, Jeff. Lori said.
Osage orange.
Thank you, Mrs. Onyx. I'm an idiot.
Well, at least
orange. Well, you made sure to throw that in there.
That computer keeps
you Freemason, Jeff?
That computer keeps restarting itself, and I don't know why.
Because I keep throwing out all these words, man.
And it's brand new.
Crashing the freaking algorithm.
Brand new. We never even installed anything on there.
He said 63 words. Oh my gosh, he broke the algorithm.
He broke the algorithms.
He said Trump 6 times.
He said the word
piece of shit.
He said the word, hey, did you know that if you spray that odor eater stuff on your feet, it retards the ability of the bacteria from being able to create that smell, because the smell is basically the excrement of the bacteria on your feet. So basically it's making it retards them, makes it.
So I need to go get those pads
their ability,
or whatever,
their ability,
throw all the toxins out of my feet.
Well, their ability to reproduce is retarded.
You found a way to use retarded. That's awesome, Jeff. We are wordsmiths. I mean, that's what we do.
I'm telling you, dude. Remember we used to do the word of the day? That's the word of the day.
Retarded.
Retarded.
Beautiful. Yep. Fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And looky there, we got 1 minute left till 10 o'clock.
Well, but this says 7 minutes left.
Oh, that's right. We need to do the full 2 hours, right? This can be on tomorrow night?
I don't know.
You're going to post this tomorrow night?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's live on Facebook, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on Rumble and all those other things. Like later when I get home.
Yeah.
I'll put it on all those other things.
They're going to play tomorrow from 9 to 11.
Oh, on here? Probably not. Because I'd have to be here to put it in.
I thought you said you set up the thingy where it does the thingy.
I don't know why it's not doing it.
Okay. You need to, would a computer help that?
Yeah, a computer would help that. I think it has something to do with you. You touched it once.
Oh, that's true.
And you broke it with your technology breaking skills.
I touched it once, right on its forehead.
Technology. on its forehead.
That's a callback, baby.
That's a callback.
That's good work.
to Subway sandwich.
Thunk.
Okay, so we have 5 minutes left. You know what?
All right.
I'm going to say something positive at the end of here.
We need something positive, Jeff. Say something positive.
Firehouse subs. Fabulous.
Fabulous.
Fabulous food. Have you had Firehouse subs?
I have had Firehouse subs once, and I really liked
Dude.
it, but
Great quality ingredients.
yeah, it's good food.
Great cause.
It's
However,
good
every time they ask me, would you like to
cause,
round
yeah.
up for first responders and firefighters? I'm like, fuck no, I don't. I'm a dick. Give me my change.
Fuck no. And that's just a sucker bet anyways. Some of them say 100% of the proceeds, and those are the ones I'm at least more inclined to say yes. But generally, those things are just fake as fuck.
Yeah.
Now, Firehouse subs is probably not. I hear they do a lot of good in the community, and they were started by firemen, and what are they? Freaking, those are heroes.
Firefighters.
Listen.
Because firefighters can be men or women.
Firefighters are heroes, okay? Police officers are heroes.
Hey, if a firefighter
Nurses
comes
at the
into a burning
ER,
building,
doctors at the ER, those are heroes.
if a firefighter comes into a
They
burning
save
building to
lives.
carry me out, I want a dude to do it, or I want that big ass Amazon bitch to do it. Okay, I want somebody to be able to carry my ass out.
Lynn,
I don't want somebody to like have
Lynn
me.
Vernon, if you're paying attention, don't listen to a word he says. I figure if I was in a burning building, I fully expect you to run your ass in there and get me.
Even
That's
if
my
you're
wife's
weak.
best friend who was a firefighter.
What I'm saying, if a fire,
And look,
I couldn't be a
Lynn's
firefighter.
a tough bitch.
Dude,
She ain't.
in my
I
neighborhood,
bet she'd throw me over her shoulder.
there are people like me who are volunteer firefighters in my neighborhood. Bitch, you can't even lift yourself. Why? I'm not talking females. I'm talking dudes.
That's one of my favorite
Dudes,
jokes.
you can't even lift yourself. Why would you think that you can?
Did you roofie me? Bitch,
Did you
I
roof-
can't carry you. I am not trying to roofie you. I used to love that joke.
Unless I get 3 or 4 of my friends to carry out to my car.
And then, we ain't gonna be able to put you in the back seat with more than one person at a time.
I don't have my pickup with me today. I don't have my van with me today. Whatever.
That's some funny shit.
Whatever. But no, I'm saying that in my neighborhood, there are people who are volunteer firefighters. It's almost like a club that they join. You know what I mean? Like they don't have the Mason Lodge out there, so they can't join the Mason Lodge. And so let's become a volunteer firefighter.
I'm gonna say that the
Everybody-
clientele for the Mason Lodge, for the Masonic Lodge, is a little different than the clientele getting in line to volunteer to run into a burning building.
But that's what I'm saying. These dudes are just
Slow
sitting
down.
around drinking with each other, hanging out, and most of them can't carry the hose. They couldn't carry me.
Like what was that? Roxanne, Steve Martin.
If you imagine me running after my fat dog and
Fucking
getting out of
idiots.
breath, thinking I'm going to have a heart attack, and I'm barely even being able to breathe, like 6 hours later, after catching my dog, those are the same people that are in the volunteer fire. Like I could be a volunteer firefighter.
You could, Jeff.
Me with
You
my
save
sciatica.
lives.
Me with my sciatica, with my cane, walking in there going, hey, somebody have to carry my ass out.
That's funny.
I could get in there, but somebody else would have to carry me out. Not everybody looks like Kirk Cameron in Fireproof.
I haven't seen it.
The movie Fireproof?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's a whole like save your marriage thing.
So the marriage is fireproof, not the person.
The movie is about fireproofing your marriage. Yeah. Melissa and I are supposed to be going through that again. We went through it, we stopped, and then we started, and we
You
stopped.
fireproof in your marriage kind of thing?
Well, everybody needs to strengthen their marriage at one point or another.
Yes.
You need to do something, strengthen your marriage. So we got 1 minute left. So we'll just go ahead and end it. End it with that.
Wow. Post from KC Comedy Radio reached 34 people and had 22 engagements this week.
What?
Thank you
What have we
to
got
all
here?
you.
Fucking comedian.
Oh, wrong one.
Yes.
Oh, wrong one.
And if you listen to the show and you're offended by the F-bombs and the cussing or whatnot, please comment, like, and subscribe.
Yeah.
And if enough people comment, we will stop fucking cussing.
kccomedy.com. Make sure you go to the shop. Support us on there. Comment whatever you think, you want to say. We're not going to read the comments. We just want it for the algorithm. Why don't people actually be honest and say that?
I don't know, because I would rather read the comments. I like reading the comments.